The first part of King Henry IV by William Shakespeare. How now? It's been about a week. I wanted to come back and hang out. Act 1, Scene 1, London the Palace. Enter King Henry, Westmoreland, and others. So shaken as we are, so worn with care, find we a time for frighted peace to pant, and breathe short-winded accents of new broils, commenced and strong or far remote. No more the thirsty entrance of the soil shall daub her lips with her own children's blood. No more shall trenching war channel her fields, nor bruise her flowerets with the armed hooves of hostile paces. Those opposed eyes, which like the meteors of a troubled heaven, all of one nature, of one substance bred, did lately meet in the intestine shock and furious close of a civil butchery, shall now in mutual well beseeming ranks march all one way, and be no more opposed against acquaintance, kindred, and allies. The edge of war, like an ill-sheathed knife, no more shall cut his master. Therefore, friends, as far as to the sepulchre of Christ, whose soldier now, under whose blessed cross we are impressed and engaged to fight. For with the power of English shall we levy, whose arms were molded in their mother's womb, to chase these pagans in these holy fields, over whose acres walked these blessed feet, which 1400 years ago were nailed for our advantage on the bitter cross. But this our purpose is a 12-month old, and bootless to tell you we will go. Therefore we meet not now. Then let me hear of you, my gentle cousin Westmoreland. What yesternight our council did decree, in forwarding his dear expedients. My liege, this haste was hot in question, and many limits of her charge sat down by yesternight, when all athwart there come a post from Wales loaden with heavy news, whose worst was that the noble Mortimer, leading the men of Herefordshire to fight against the irregular and wild Glendower, was by the rude hands of that Welshman taken, and 1,000 people butchered. Upon those dead corpses there was such misuse, such beastly shameless transformation by those Welshwomen done, as may not be without much shame retold or spoken of. It seems that the tidings of this broil break off our business for the Holy Land. This matched with other like, my gracious lord. For more uneven and unwelcome news came from the north, and thus it did import. On holy rude day, the gallant Hotspur there, young Harry, Percy, and brave Archibald, that ever valiant and approved Scotch, at Holmedon met, where they did spend a sad and bloody hour, as by discharge of their artillery in shape of likelihood the news was told. For he that brought them in that very heat and pride of their contention did take horse, uncertain of the issue any way. Here's a dear and true industrious friend, Sir Walter Blunt, new lighted from his orb, strained with the variation of each soil betwixt with Holmedon and the seat of ours. And he hath brought us smooth and welcome news. The Earl of Douglas is discomfited. 10,000 bold Scots, 22 knights, balked in their own blood, did Sir Walter see on Holbenon's plains. Of prisoners Hotspur took Mordake the Earl of Fife, Mordake the Earl of Fife, and oldest son to beaten Douglas, and the Earls of Atholl, of Murray, Angus, and Menteith, and is not this a conquest spoil, a gallant prize? Ah, cousin, is it not? In faith, it is a conquest for a prince to boast of. Yea, there thou makest me sad, and makest me sin, and envy that my lord Northumberland should be the father to so blessed a son, a son whose the theme, a son whose the theme of honors comes amongst the grove, the very straightest plant, who is the sweet fortune's minion and her pride, whilst I, by looking at the praise of him, see right and dishonor stain the brow of my young Harry. Wait, that it could be proved that some knight is tipping fair in exchange in cradle clothes our children where they lay, and called mine Percy, his plantagenet. Then would I have his Harry, and he mine. But let him from my thoughts. What think you, cuz, of this young Percy's pride? The prisoners which he in this adventure hath surprised, to his own use he keeps, and sends me word. I shall have none but Mordake Earl of Fife. This is uncle's teaching, this is Worcester, malevolent to you in all aspects, which makes him prune himself, and bristle up the crest of youth against your dignity. But I have sent for him to answer this, and for this cause a while we will select our hard purpose to Jerusalem. Cousin, on Wednesday next our council we will hold at Windsor, so inform the lords, but come yourself with speed to us again. For more is to be said and to be done, then out of anger then be uttered. I will, my liege. Scene 2, the same. An apartment of the princess. Enter the prince and Falstaff. Now, how? What time of day is it, lad? Thou art so fat-witted, with drinking of old sack, and unbuttoning thee after supper, and sleeping upon bench this afternoon, that thou hast forgotten to demand truly which thou wouldest truly know. What a devil hast thou to do with the time of the day? Unless hours are cups of sack, and minutes of capons, and clocks the tongues of bawds, and dials the sun of leaping houses. And the blessed sun himself, a fair hot, winch and flame-colored taffeta. I see no reason why thou shouldest be so superfluous to demand the time of the day. Oh, it is 4:39 p.m. on May 29th, 2025. Indeed, you come near me now, Hal, for we that take persons go by the moon and the 7 stars, and not by the Phoebus he, with wandering night so fair, and I prithee, sweet wag, when thou art king, as God save thy grace. Majesty, I should say, for grace thou have none. What? None. No, by my troth, not so much as will serve to be prologue to an egg and butter. Well, how now? Well, how then? Come, roundly. Marry then, sweet wag, when thou art king, let not us that are squires of the night's body be called thieves of the day's beauty. Let us be done as foresters, gentlemen of the shade, minions of the moon, and let men say, we be men of good government, being governed as the sea is, by our noble and chaste mistress, the moon, under whose countenance we steal. Thou sayest well, and it holds well too, for the fortune of us, that are the moon's men, doth ebb and flow like the sea, being governed as the sea is by the moon. As for the proof now, a purse of gold, most resolutely snatched on Monday night and most dissolutely spent on Tuesday morning, got with swearing, lay by and spent with crying, bring in. Now, in as low an ebb as the foot of a ladder, and by as high as low, slow as the ridge of the gallows. By the Lord, thou sayest true, lad. And is not my hostess of the tavern a most sweet wench? As the honey and hybla, my old lad of the castle, and is not a buff jerkin a most sweet robe of Durham? How now, mad wag? What in thy quips, and thy quips, what a plague have I do with a buff jerkin? Why, what a pox have I do with my hostess of the tavern? Well, thou hast called her to reckoning many a time and oft. Did I ever call for thee to pay thy part? No. I'll give thee thy due. Thou hast paid all there. Yeah, and elsewhere so far as my coin would stretch, and where it would not, I have used my credit. Yeah, and so used it that, were it not here apparent that thou art heir apparent. But I prithee, sweet wag, shall there be gallows standing in England where thou art king, and resolution thus fobbed, as it is with the rusty curb of old Father Antique the law? Do not thou, when thou art king, hang a thief? No, thou shalt. Shall I? Oh, rare. By the Lord, I'll be a brave judge. Thou judgest false already. I mean, thou shalt have the hanging of the thieves, and so become a rare hangman. Well, how? Well, in some sort, it jumps with my humor as well as waiting in the court, I can tell you. For obtaining suits? Yeah, for obtaining of suits, whereof the hangman hath no lean wardrobe. Sblood, I am as melancholy as a gib cat, or a lug bear, or an old lion, or a lover's lute, yeah, or the drone of a Lincolnshire bagpipe. What sayest thou to a hare, or the melancholy of Moor Ditch? Thou hast the most unsavory similes, and art, indeed, the most comparative, rascaliest, sweet young prince. But, Hal, I prithee, trouble me no more with vanity. I would to God thou and I knew where a commodity of good name were to be brought. An old lord of the council rated me the other day in the street about you, sir, but I marked him not, and yet the talked very wisely, but I regarded him not, and he talked wisely, and in the street too. Thou didst well, for wisdom cries out in the street, and no man regards it. Oi, thou hast damnable iteration, and art indeed able to corrupt a saint. Thou hast done much harm upon me, Hal, good forgive me. God forgive thee for it. Before I knew thee, Hal, I knew nothing, and now am I, if a man should speak truly, little better than one of the wicked. I must give other this life, and I will give it over. By the Lord, I do not. I'm a villain. I'll be damned for never a king's son christened. Where shall we take a purse tomorrow, Jack? Zounds! Where thou wilt, lad, I'll make one. And I do not call me a villain and baffle me. I see a good amendment of life in thee, from praying to purse-taking. Enter poems at a distance. Why, Hal, 'tis my vocation, Hal. 'Tis no sin for a man to labor in his vocation. Poems. Now shall we know if Gad shall have set a match. Wait, if man were to be saved by marriage, what hold in hell were hot enough for him? This is the most omnipotent villain that ever cried. Stand to a true man. Good morrow, Ned. Good morrow, sweet Hal. What says Monsieur Remorse? What says Sir John, Sack and Sugar? Jack, how agrees the devil in thee about thy soul? That thou soldest him on Good Friday last for a cup of Madeira and a gold captain's leg? Sir John stands on his word. The devil still shall have his bargain, for he was never yet a breaker of proverbs. He will give the devil his due. Then art thou damned for keeping thy word with the devil? Else he had been damned for cozying the devil. But my lads, tomorrow morning by 4 o'clock early at Gadshill, there are pilgrims going to be Canterbury with rich offerings and traders riding to London with fat purses. I have visitors for you all. You have horses for yourselves. Gadshill lies tonight in Rochester. I have bespoke supper tomorrow night in East Cheap. We may do it at secure sleep. If you will go, I will stuff your purses full of crowns. If you will not, tarry at home and be hanged. Hear ye, Edward. If I tarry at home and go not, I'll hang you for going. You will chops? Hal, wouldst thou make one? Do I rob? I a thief? Not I. By my faith. There's neither honesty, manhood, nor good fellowship in thee, nor thou camest not of the blood royal, if thou darest not stand for 10 shillings. Well then, once in my days I'll be a madcap. Why, that's well said. Well, come that will, I'll tarry at home. By the Lord, I'll be a traitor then. When thou art king, I care not. I care not. Sir John, I pray thee, leave the prince and me alone. I will lay him down with such reasons for the adventure that he shall go. I'm trying this like a playwright. Keep forgetting. Well, God give thee spirits of persuasion in him the ears of profiting, that what thou speakest may move, and what he hears may believe, that the true prince may, for recreation's sake, be a false thief, for the poor abuses of the time want a countenance. Farewell, you shall find me in East Cheap. Farewell, thou lackest. Farewell, all hallowed summer. Now, my good sweet honey lord, ride with us tomorrow. I have a jest as cute that I cannot manage alone. Falstaff, Bardolph, Pito, and Gadshill shall rob those men that we have already waylaid. Yourself and I will not be there, and when they have the booty, you and I do not rob them, cut this head from my shoulders. But how shall we part with them setting forth? Why, we will set forth before or after them, and appoint them a place of meeting wherein it is at our pleasure to fail. And when will they adventure upon the exploit themselves, which they shall have no sooner achieved, but witness upon them? Yeah, but 'tis like that they will know, us by our horses, by our habits, and by every other appointment to be ourselves. Tut! Our horses they shall not see, I'll tie them in the wood. Our visitors we will change after we leave them, and sirrah, I have cases of buckram for the nonce, to enmask them with outward garments. Yeah, but I doubt they will be too hard for us. Well, for 2 of them, I know them to be true-bred cowards that never turn back. As for the third, if he fight longer than he sees reason, I'll forswear arms. The virtue of this
a little hard to hit there. We're not doing handicaps.
That this same fat rogue will tell us when we meet at supper how 30, at least, he fought with, what words, what blows, what extremities he endured, and in the reproof of lies the jest. Well, I'll go with thee, provided
yes, and get the fuck out.
Eat tomorrow night in East Cheap. There I'll sup. Farewell. Farewell, my lord. I know you all, and will a while uphold the unyoked humor of your idleness. Yet herein will I imitate the sun, who doth permit the base contagious clouds, to smoother up his beauty from the world, that when he please again to be himself, being wanted, he may be more wondered at, by breaking through the foul and ugly mist of vapors that did seem so strange to him. If all the year were plain holidays, to sport would be as tedious as to work. But when they seldom come, they wish for come, and nothing pleases but rare accidents. So when the loose behavior I throw off, and pay the debt I never promised, by how much better than my word I am, by so much shall I falsely men's hopes, and like bright metal on the sullen ground, my reformation glittering o'er my fault, shall show more goodly, and attract more eyes, than that which hath no foil to set it off. I'll so offend, make offence a skill, redeem time when men think least I will. Scene 3, the same, the palace. Enter King Henry, Northumberland, Worcester Hotspur, Sir Walter Blunt, and others. My blood hath been too cold and temperate, unapt to stir at these indignities, and you have found me, for accordingly you tread upon my patience. But be sure, I will from henceforth rather be myself, mighty and to be feared than my conditions, which hath been smooth as oil, soft as young down, and therefore lost that title of respect, which the proud soul ne'er pays, but to the proud. Our house, my sovereign liege, little deserves the scourge of greatness to be used on it, and that same greatness, too, which our own hands have holp to make so portly. My lord, Worcester, get thee gone, for I do see danger and disobedience in thy eye. Oui, sir, your presence to bold and temper your majesty might never yet endure the moody frontier of a servant's brow. You have good leave to leave us. When we need your use and counsel, we shall send for you. You are about to speak. Yea, my good lord, those prisoners in your highness' name demanded, which Harry Percy here at Halmedon took, were, as he says, not with such strength denied as he delivered to your majesty. Either envy, therefore, or imprisonment, is guilty of this fault, and not my son. My liege, I did deny no prisoners, but I remember when the fight was done, when I was dry with rage and extreme toil, breathless and faint, leaning upon my sword, came there a certain lord, neat and trimly dressed, fresh as a bridegroom, and his chin new reaped show like a stubble land at harvest home. He was perfumed like a milliner, and twixt his finger and his thumb he held a pounce's box, which ever and anon he gave his nose and took away again, who therewith angry, when it next came there, took in snuff, and still he smiled and talked, and as the soldier bore dead bodies by, he called them untaught knaves, unmannerly to bring a solemnly unhandsome corpse betwixt the wind and his nobility. With many holiday and lady terms he questioned me. Among the rest, demanded my prisoners in your majesty's behalf. I then, all smarting with my wounds, being cold, to be so pestered with a popinjay, out of my grief and my impatience, answered negligently, I know not what. He should or he should not. For he made me mad to see him shine so brisk and smell so sweet and talk so like a waiting gentlewoman, of guns and drums and wounds. God save the mark. And telling me the sovereign's thing on earth was parmacetti for an inward bruise. And it was a great pity. And so it was. This villainous sepulture should be digged out of the bowels of the harmless earth, which many a good tall fellow had destroyed, so cowardly, and but for these bald guns he would himself have been a soldier. This bald, unjointed jack of his, my lord, I answered indirectly, as I said. And I beseech you, let not this report come current for an occasion, come current for an accusation betwixt my love and your high majesty. The circumstance considered, good my lord, whatever Harry Percy then had said to such a person and in such a place at such a time, with all the rest retold, may reasonably die and never rise to do him wrong, or any way impeach when then he said, so he unsay it now. Well, yet he doth deny his prisoners, but with proviso and exception, that we at our own charge shall ransom straight his brother-in-law, the foolish Mortimer, who on my soul hath wilfully betrayed the lives of those that he did lead to fight against the great magician, damned Glendower, whose daughter, as we hear, the Earl of March hath lately married. Shall our coffers then be empty to redeem a traitor home? Shall we buy treason and intend with fears when they have lost and forfeited themselves? No. On the barren mountains let him starve, for I shall never hold that man my friend whose tongue shall ask me for one penny cost to ransom home revolted Mortimer. revolted Mortimer. He never did fall off, my sovereign liege, but by the chance of war, to prove that true needs no more but one tongue for all those wounds, those mouth wounds which valiantly took, when on the gentle Severn's sedgy bank, in single opposition hand to hand, he did confound the best part of an hour, and changeling Hardiment with great Glendower, 3 times they breathed, and 3 times they did drink. Upon agreement of swift Severn's flood, who then, affrighted with her bloody looks, ran fearfully among the trembling reeds, and hit his crisp head on the hollow bank blood combatants. Never did base and rotten policy color her working with such deadly wounds, nor never could the noble Mortimer receive so many and all willing. Then let him not be slandered with revolt. Thou dost belie him, Percy, thou dost belie him. He never did encounter with Glendower, I tell thee. He durst as well have met the devil alone as own Glendower for an enemy. Art thou not ashamed? But, sirrah, henceforth, let me not hear you speak of Mortimer. Send me your prisoners with the speediest means, or you shall hear in such kind from me, as will displease you, my lord Northumberland. We license your departure with your son. Send us your prisoners, or you'll hear of it. And if the devil come and roar for them, I will not send him. I will after straight and tell him so, for I will ease my heart. I'll bite. I make a hazard of my head. What? Drunk with shoulder? Stay and pause a while. Here comes your uncle. Re-enter Worcester. Speak of Mortimer? Zounds! I will speak of him, and let my soul want mercy if I do not join with him. And in his behalf I'll empty all these veins, and shed my dear blood drop by drop. I the dust, but I will lift the downtrodden Mortimer as high the air as this unthankful king, as this ingrate and cankered Bolingbroke. Brother,
dude, everywhere.
The king hath made your nephew mad, who struck this heat up after I was gone. He will, forsooth, have all my prisoners, and when I urged the ransom once again of my wife's brother, then his cheek looked pale, and on my face he turned an eye of death, trembling even at the name of Mortimer. I cannot blame him. Was he not proclaimed by Richard that dead is next to blood? He was. I heard the proclamation, and then it was when the unhappy king, whose wrongs in us God pardon, did set forth upon his Irish expedition, from whence he intercepted did return to be deposed and shortly murdered, and for whose death was in the world's wide mouth live.
I had him muted, dude. What's that mine? Bro, what's that mine?
But soft, I pray you. Did King Richard then proclaim my brother Edmund Mortimer heir to the crown? He did.
I don't want to do a balancer.
Nay, then I cannot blame his cousin King, that wished him on the barren mountain starve. But shall it be that you, that set the crown upon the head of this forgetful man, and for his sake wear the detested black murderous subordination? Shall it be that you a world of curses undergo, being the agents of the base second means, the cords, the ladder, or the hangman rather? Wait, pardon me that I descend so low, to show the line of the predicament wherein you reigned under the subtle king. Shall it for shame be spoken of these days? Or furl up chronicles in time to come, that men of your nobility and power do gain both in an unjust behalf? As both of you, God pardon it, have done, to put down Richard, that sweetly lovely rose, and plant this thorn, this cankered Bolingbroke? And shall it in more shame be further spoken that you are fooled, discarded, and shook off by him for whom these shames ye underwent? No. Yet time serves wherein ye may redeem into the good thoughts of the world again. Revenge the jeering and disdain contempt of this proud king, who studies day and night to answer all the debt he owes to you, even with the bloody payment of your debts. Therefore I say, peace, cousin! Say no more. And now I will unclasp the secret book, and to your quick conceiving discontents I'll read you matter deep and dangerous with full of peril and adventurous spirit. As to arrow walk occurs roaring loud on the unsteadfast footing of a spear. If you fall in, good night, or sink or swim, send danger from the east into the west. So on across it from the north to the south, and let them grapple. Oi, the blood most stirs to rouse a lion that started a hare. Imagination some great exploit drives him beyond the bounds of patience. By heaven, methinks, for an easy leap to pluck bright honor from the pale-faced moon, or dive into bottomless deep where fathom line could never touch the ground, and pluck up drowned honor by the locks. So he that doth redeem her thence might wear without Corville all her dignities. But out upon this half-faced fellowship, he apprehends the world of figures here, but not the form of what he should attend. Good cousin, give me audience for a while. I cry you mercy. Those same noble Scots, that are your prisoners. I'll keep them all. By God, he shall not have a Scot of him. No, if a Scot would save his soul, he shall not. I'll keep them by this hand. You start away, and lend no ear unto purposes. These prisoners you shall keep. Nay, I will, that's flat. He said he would not ransom Mortimer. Forbade my tongue to speak of Mortimer. But I will find him when he lies asleep, and in this ear I'll holla, Mortimer. Nay, I'll have a starling shall be taught to speak nothing but Mortimer, and give it him, to keep his anger still in motion. Hear you, cousin, a word. All studies here I solemnly defy, save how to gall and pinch this Bolingbroke, and that some sword and buckler prince of Wales. But I think this father loves him not, and would be glad he met with some mischance. I would have him poisoned with a pot of ale. Farewell, kinsman. I will talk to you when you are better tempered to attend. Why, what a wasp stung in a patient fool art thou to break into this woman's mood, tying thine ear to no tongue but thine own? Why, look you, I am whipped and scoring with rods, nettled and stung with pismers, when I hear this vile politician Bolingbroke in Richard's time. What do ye call this place? A plague upon't, it is Gloucestershire. 'Twas where the madcap duke his uncle kept his uncle York, where I first bowed my knee unto the king of smiles, this Bolingbroke's blood, when you and he came back from Ravensperg. At Berkeley Castle, you say true. Why, what a candy deal of courtesy, this fawning greyhound that did proffer me. Look, when his infant fortune came to age, and gentle Harry Percy, and kind cousin, the devil take such cozeners, God forgive me. Good uncle, tell your tale, for I have done, nay, if you have not again, will stay your leisure. I have done, I saith. Then once to your Scottish prisoners. Deliver them up with your ransom straight, and make the Douglas son your only mean, for Paris of Scotland, which for the divers reason, which I shall send you written, be assured will easily be granted. You, my lord, your son of Scotland being thus employed, shall secretly into the bosom creep of the same noble prelate well beloved, the Archbishop. Of York, is it not? True. Who bears hard his brother's death at Bristol. The Lord Scroop, I speak not this in estimation, as what I think might be, but what I know is ruminated, plotted, and set down, and only stays but to behold the face of what occasion that shall bring it on. I smell it. Upon my life it will do wondrous well. Before the game's afoot thou still let it slip. Why, it cannot choose but be a noble plot. And then the power of Scotland and of York to join with Mortimer, ha! And so they shall. In faith, it is exceedingly well aimed. And 'tis no little reason bids us speed, to save our heads by raising of a head. For bear ourselves as even as we can, the king will always think him of our dead. And think we think ourselves unsatisfied, till he hath found a time to pay us home, and see already how he doth begin to make us strangers to his looks of love? He does. We'll be revenged on him. Cousin, farewell. No further go in this, then I by letters shall direct your course. When time is ripe, which will be suddenly, I'm still to Glendower and Lord Mortimer. Were you and Douglas in our powers at once, as I will fashion it, shall happily meet to bear our fortunes in our own strong arms, which now we hold at much uncertainty. Farewell, good brother. We shall thrive, I trust. Uncle, adieu. Let the hours be short, till fields and blows and groves applaud our sport. Okay, Act 2. Henry IV. Scene 1. Rochester. An Inyard. Enter carrier with a lanthorn in his hand. Hi-ho! And speed not for by the day I'll be hanged. Charles Wayne is over the new chimney, and yet our horse not packed. What ostler! Anon, anon. I prithee, Tom, beat cut saddle, but a few flocks in this point.
No. No.
Enter another carrier. Peas and beans are as dank here as a dog, and that is the next way to give poor Jade spots. This house is turned.
Paper boat.
It's
the paper boat.
Poor fellow. Never joyed since the price of earth rose. It was the death of him.
The paper boat.
This be the most villainous house in all London road for please.
There we go. Get him, boys.
Like a pinch. By the mass, there is never a king christened could be better bit than I have ever been since the first cock. Why, they will allow us ne'er a Jordan, and then we leak in the chimney, and your chamber lie breeds, and your chamber lie breeds fleas like a loach. What ostler? Come away and be hanged, come away. I have a gammon of bacon and 2 raisins of ginger to be delivered as far as Charing Cross. God's body, the turkeys in my painter are quite starved. What ostler? A plague in thee? Hast thou never an eye in the head? Canst not hear? And 'twere not as good to eat as drink to break the pate on me. I'm the very villain. Come and be hanged. Hast no faith in thee? Enter Gadshill. Good morrow, carriers. What o'clock? I think it be 2 o'clock. I prithee, lend me thy lanthorn, to see my gelding in the stable. Nay, by God, soft, I know a trick worth 2 of that, I faith. I prithee, lend me thine. I win. Canst tell? Lend me thy lanthorn, quoth I. Marry, I'll see thee henceforth. Sirrah, carrier, what time do you mean to come to London? Time enough to go to bed with candle, I warrant thee. Come, neighbor mugs, we'll call up the gentlemen. They will along with company, for they have great charge. What ho, Chamberlain? At hand, quoth pig purse. That's even as fair as. At hand, quoth the Chamberlain. For thou bearest no more from me. A purses and give me direction just from labor. Thou layest the plot how. Enter Chamberlain. Good morrow, Master Gadshill. Holds current that I told you yesternight. There's a Franklin in the Wild of Kent hath brought 300 marks with him in gold. I heard him tell it to one of his company last night at supper, a kind of auditor. One that hath abundance of charging too, God knows what. They're up already and call for eggs and butter. They will away presently. Sirrah, if they meet not with St. Nicholas' clerks, I'll give thee this neck. No, I'll none of it. I prithee, keep that for the hangman, for I know thou worshipst St. Nicholas, and truly a man of falsehood may. What talkest thou to me of the hangman? If I hang, I'll make a fat pair of gallows. For if I hang, old Sir John hangs with me, and thou knowest he's no starveling. Tut! There are other Trojans that thou dreamest not of, that which for sport's sake are content to do the professions and grace, that would, if matters should be looked into, for their own credit sake make all whole. I am joined with no footland rakers, no long-staffed sixpenny strikers, none of these mad, mustachio purple, hued malt worms, but with nobility and tranquility. Burgomasters and great oiners, such as can hold in, such as will strike sooner than speak, and speak sooner than drink, and drink sooner than pray. And yet I lie, for they pray continually to their saint, the Commonwealth, or rather not pray to her, but pray on her, for they ride up and down on her, and make her their boots. What? The Commonwealth their boots? Will she hold out water in foul way? She will. Justice hath liquor for her. We steal as in a castle, cocksure. We have the receipt of fern seed. We walk invisible. Nay, by my faith, I think you are more beholding to the night than to the fern seed for your walking invisible. Give me thy hand. Thou shalt have a share in our purchase, as I am a true man. Nay, rather let me have it, as you are a false thief. Go to, Homo is a common name to all men. Bid the ostler bring my gelding out of the stable. Farewell, you muddy knave.
Victory!
Sweet.
Scene 2. The Road by Gadshill. Enter the prince and poins. Come, shelter, shelter. I have removed Falstaff's horse, and he frets like a gummed velvet. Stand close. Enter Falstaff. Poins, poins, and be hanged. Poins! Peace, ye fat, kidney rascal. What a brawling dost thou keep? Where's Poins, Hal? He has walked up to the top of the hill. I'll go seek him. I am accursed to rob and let thieves company. The rascal hath removed my horse and tied him I know not where. If I travel but 4 foot by the squire further afoot, I shall break my wind. Well, I doubt not but to die a fair death for all this, if I escape hanging for killing that rogue. I have sworn his company hourly any time this 22 years, and yet I am betwixt with the rogue's company. If the rascal have not given my medicines to make me love him, I'll be hanged. It could not be else. I have drunk medicines. Poins, Hal, a plague upon you both. Bardolph, Pitot, I'll starve ere I'll rob a foot further. And 'twere not as good a deed as drink to turn true man and leave these rogues. I'm the veriest varlet that ever chewed with a tooth. 8 yards of uneven ground is 70 miles afoot with me, and the stony-hearted villains knew it well enough. A plague upon't when thieves cannot be true one to another. Whoa! A plague upon you all! Give me my horse, you rogues, give me my horse, and be hanged. Peace, you fatnets! Lie down, lie thy ear close to the ground, and list if thou canst hear the tread of travellers. Have you any levers to lift me up again, being down? Splud, I'll not bear my own flesh so far afoot again for all the coin in thy father's exchequer. What a plague mean ye to colt me thus? Thou liest, thou art not colted, thou art uncolted. I prithee, good Prince Hal, help me to my horse, good King's son. Out, you rogue! Shall I be your oyster? Go hang thyself in thy own heir apparent garters. If I be 10, I'll preach for this, and I have not ballads made on you all, and sung to filthy tunes, let a cup of sack by my poison, when it jests itself forward and afoot too. I hate it. Enter Gadshill. Stand. So I do, against my will. Oh, wait, 'tis a setter. I know his voice. Enter Bardolph and Pitot. What news? Casey, on went to a visit. There's money of the king's coming down the hill. 'Tis going to the king's exchequer. Exchequer! You lie, you rogue. 'Tis going to the king's tavern. There's enough to make us all. To be hanged. Sirs, you four shall front them in the narrow lane. Ned, Poins, and I will walk lower. If they escape from the encounter, then light on us. How many be there of them? Some 8 or 10. Now, will they not rob us? What? A coward, Sir John Paunch? Indeed, I am not John of Gaunt, your grandfather, but you no coward, Hal. Well, we leave that to the proof. Sirrah Jack, thy horse stands behind the hedge. When thou needst him there thou shalt find him. Farewell, and stand fast. Now cannot I strike him if I should be hanged. Ned, where are our disguises? Here, hard by, stand close. Now, my master, hath him into his door. Say aye, every man to his business. Enter travelers. Come, neighbor, the boys shall lead our horses down the hill. We'll walk afoot a while and we ease our legs. Stand! Jesu, bless us. Strike! Down with him! Cut the villain's throats! Ah! Whoresome caterpillars! Bacon-fed knaves! They hate us youth! Down with him! Fleece them! Oi! We are undone, both we and ours, forever. Hang ye, gourd-bellied knaves! Are ye undone? No, ye fat chuffs! I would your store were here, on Bacon's son. What? Ye knaves, young men must live. You're good jurors, are ye? We'll judge ye, I faith. Re-enter the Prince and Poins. The thieves have found the true men. Now could thou and I rob the thieves and go merrily to London. It would be argument for a week, laughter for a month, and a good jest forever. Stand close, I hear them coming. Re-enter thieves. Come, my message, let us share, and then to horse before day. And the prince and poins, be not two errant cowards. There's no equity stirring. There's no more valor in that poins than in a wild duck. Your money. Villains! Got with much ease, now merrily to the horse. The thieves are scattered and possessed with fear, so strong if they dare not meet each other. Each takes his fellow for an officer. Away, good Ned. Falstaff sweats to death, and lards the learned earth as he walks along. Wouldst not for laughing, I should pity him.
One hit.
Ah, the rogue horde. Scene 3. Workworth. A room in the castle. Enter Hotspur reading a letter. But for my own part, my lord, I could be well content to be there, and in respect of the love I bear your house. He could be contented. Why is he not then? In respect of the love he bears our house, he shows in this he loves his own barn better than he loves our house. Let me see some more. The purpose you undertake is dangerous. Why, that's certain. 'Tis dangerous to take a cold, to sleep, to drink, but I tell you, my lord, fool, out of this nettle danger we pluck this flower of safety. The purpose you undertake is dangerous. The friends you have named uncertain, the time itself unsorted, and your whole plot too light for the counterpoise of so great an opposition. Say you so? Say you so? I say unto you again, you are a shallow, cowardly hind, and you lie. What a lack brain is this? By the Lord, our plot is a good plot, as ever we laid. Our friends true and constant, a good plot, good friends and full of expectation, an excellent plot, very good friends. What a frosty spirited rogue is this? Why, my Lord of York commends the plot and the general course of the action. Zounds! And I were now by this rascal, I could brain him with his lady's fan. Is there not my father, my uncle, and myself? Lord Edmund Mortimer, my Lord of York, and Owen Glendower. Is there not besides the Dudleys? Have I not all their letters to meet me in arms by the 9th of the next month? And are they not some of them set forward already? What a pagan rascal is this, an infidel. Ha! You shall see how now very sincerity of fear and cold heart will be the king and lay open all our proceedings. Oh wait, I could divide myself and go to buffets.
Yeah, dude.
I could divide myself and go to buffets for moving such a dish of skimmed milk with so honorable an action. Hang him! Let him tell the king. We are prepared. I will set forward tonight. Enter Lady Percy. How now, Kate? I must leave you within these 2 hours. Oi, my good lord, why are you thus alone? For what offense have I this fortnight been a banished woman from my Harry's bed? Tell me, sweet lord, what is that takes from thee? Thy stomach pleasure and thy golden sheep. Why dost thou bend thy eyes upon the earth, and start so often when thou sittest alone? Why hast thou lost the fresh blood in thy cheeks, and given my treasures my right to thee? To the thick-eyed musing and cursed melancholy. In thy faint slumbers I by thee have watched and heard thee murmured tales of iron wars, speak turns of manage to thy pounding steed. Cry courage to the field, and thou hast talked of sallies and retires of trench tents, of palacidos, frontiers, parapets, of basilisks of cannon and cavalry, of prisoners ransomed, of soldiers slain, in all the currents of a heady fight. Thy spirit within thee hath been so at war, and thus hath so bestirred thee in thy sleep, that beads of sweet have stood upon thy brow, like bubbles in a late disturbed stream, and in thy face strange motions appeared, such as we see when men restrain their breath on some great sudden pest. Oi, what portents are these? Some heavy business hath my lord in hand, and I must know it, else he loves me not. What ho? Enter servant. Is Gillens with the packet gone? He is, my lord, an hour ago. Has the butler brought the horses from the sheriff? One horse, my lord, he brought even now. What horse? A roan? A crop ear, is it not? It is, my lord. That roan shall be my throne. Well, I will back him straight. Oi, Esperance. Bid butler lead him forth into this park.
But hear you, my lord.
What sayest thou, my lady? What is it carries you away? Why, my horse, my love, my horse. Out, you mad-headed babe. A weasel hath not to deal with spleen, as you are tossed with. In faith, I'll know your business. Harry, that I will. I fear my brother Mortimer doth stir about his title, and hath sent for you to line his enterprise. But if you go so far afoot, I shall be weary, love. Come, come, you periquito, answer me, directly to the question that I ask. In faith, I'll break thy little finger, Harry, and if thou wilt not tell me all thy things true, away, away, you trifler. Love, I love thee not. I care not for thee.
Ah, yeah, you're the bad vibe there, bro. You're doing it
to tilt with lips, who must have bloody noses and crack crowns and pass in current too. God's me, my horse. What sayest thou, Kate? What wouldst thou have with me?
Do you not love me?
Do you not indeed? Well, do not then, for since you love me not, I will not love myself. Do you not love me? Nay, tell me if you speak in jest or no. Come, wilt thou see my ride? And when I am o' horseback, I will swear I love thee infinitely. But hark you, Kate, I must not have you henceforth question me. Whither I go, no reason whereabout, whither I must, and to conclude this evening must I leave you, gentle Kate. I know you wise, but yet no further wise than Harry Percy's wife. Constant you are, but yet a woman, and for a secrecy, no lady closer, for I well believe, thou wilt not have it what thou dost not know, and so far will I trust thee, gentle Kate. How? So far? Not an inch further, but hark you, Kate, whither I go, thither shall you go too. Today will I set forth, tomorrow you. Will this continue, Kate? It must, of force. Scene 4. Eastcheap, a room in the Boar's Head Tavern. Enter the prince and points. Ned, prithee, come out of that fat room and lend me the hand of laugh a little. Where hast been, Hal? With 3 or 4 loggers' head amongst 3 or 4 score hogsheads. I have sounded the very bass string of humility. Sirrah, I am sworn brother to a leash of drawers, and I can call them all by their Christian names, as Tom, Dick, and Francis. They take it already upon their salvation, that thou I be but Prince of Wales. Yet I am the king of courtesy, and tell me flatly, I am no proud jack, like Falstaff, but a Corinthian, a lad of mettle, a good boy. By the Lord, so they call me. And when I am king of England, I shall command all the good lads of Eastcheap. They call drinking deep, dying scarlet, and when you breathe in your watering, they cry hymn, and bid you play it off. To conclude, I am so good a proficient in 1/4 of an hour, that I can drink with any tinker in his own language during my life. I tell thee, Ned, thou hast lost much honor, that thou wert not with me in this action. But sweet Ned, to sweeten which name of Ned, I give thee this pennyworth of sugar, clapped even now into my hand by an undersinker. One that never spake other English in his life than 8 shillings and 6 pence, and you are welcome with this shrill addition. Anon, sir, score a pint of bastard in the half-moon or so. But Ned, to drive away the time,
man, dude, slip and slide, get off.
Some by room. Well, I
goddamn.
To what end he
really
gave me the sugar, and do thou never leave.
I'm not involved in your bullshit.
That this tale to me may be nothing but a
I muted you.
Step aside, and I'll show thee a precedent. Francis, thou art perfect. Francis, enter Francis. Anon, sir. Look down into the pomegranate, Ralph. Come hither, Francis. My lord, how long hast thou to serve, Francis? Forsooth, 5 years and as much as to... Francis! Anon, sir. 5 years. Buy a lady a long lease for the clinking of pewter. But Francis, darest thou be so valiant as to play the coward with the indenture and show it a fair
bad friction, dude.
Wait, lord, sir. I'll be sworn upon all the books in England.
I'm serious. Get off.
Francis! Anon, sir.
What a little bitch.
How old art thou, Francis? Let me see. About Michaelmas next.
Dude, get off that shit. I'm not kidding with you.
Anon, sir. Pray you, stay a little, my lord. Nay, but hark you, Francis, for the sugar thou gavest me, 'Twas a pennyworth, was not?
Yeah, dude, we're not kidding
Oilers,
at
sir.
all.
I would have been too.
You're a little bitch.
I will give thee for it £1,000. Ask me when thou wilt.
God damn, dude, I'm gonna have to report these
Francis.
motherfuckers. Get the fuck away from
Anon,
me,
anon.
bitch.
Anon, Francis? No, Francis, but tomorrow, Francis. Or Francis, oi, Thursday. Or indeed, Francis, when thou wilt. But Francis, my lord, wilt thou rob
God
this
damn,
leather
you
jerkin
bitch.
crystal button? Not pated. A gate ring. Puke stocking, caddis garter, smooth tongue, Spanish pouch. Oh, Lord, sir, who do you mean? Why then, your brown bastard is only your drink. For look you, Francis, your white canvas doublet will suffly. Your doublet will sully. In Barbary, sir, it cannot come to so much. What, sir? Francis, away, you rogue, dost thou not hear them call?
I hear you.
Enter vintner. What, standest thou still, to hear such a calling? Look to the guests within. My lord, old Sir John, with half a dozen more, are at the door. Shall I let them in? Let them alone a while, and then open the door. Poins. Anon, anon, sir. Sirrah, Falstaff, and the rest of the thieves are at the door. Shall we be merry? As merry as crickets, my lad. But hark you, what cunning match have ye made with this jest of the drawer? Come, what's the issue? I now all of the humours that have showed themselves humours since the old days of Goodman. Add them to the pupil age of this present 12 o'clock at midnight. What o'clock, Francis? Anon, anon, sir. Whatever this fellow should have fewer words than a parrot, and yet the son of a woman. His industry is upstairs and downstairs. His elegance the parcel of a reckoning. I am not yet of Percy's mind, the Hotspur of the North. He that kills me some 6 or 7 dozen of Scots at a breakfast, washes his hands and says to his wife, Fie upon this quiet life. I want work. Oi, my sweet Harry, says she. How many hast thou killed today? Give my roan horse a drench, says he, and answers, Some 14 an hour after, a trifle, I prithee call in Falstaff. I'll play Percy, and that damned Brawn shall play Dame Mortimer his wife. Rivo, says the drunkard, call in ribs, call in tallow. Enter Falstaff, Gatchel, Bardolph, Pitot, and France. Welcome, Jack. Where hast thou been? A plague of all cowards. I say, and a vengeance, too. Marion, amen. Give me a cup of sack, boy. Ere I lead this life long, I'll sow nether stocks and mend them afoot, them too. A plague of all cowards. Give him a cup of sack, rogue. Is there no virtue extant? Didst thou never see Titan kiss a dish of butter? Pitiful-hearted Titan, that melted at the sweet tail of the sun? If thou didst then behold that compound? You rogue. Here's lime in this sack, too. There's nothing but roguery to be found in villainous men. Yet a coward is worse than a cup of sack with lime in it. A villainous coward. Go thy ways, old Jack. Die when thou wilt. If manhood, good manhood, be not forgot upon the face of the earth, then am I a shy herring? There live not 3 good men unchanged in England, and one of them is fat and groweth old. God help a while. A bad word, I say. I would I were a weaver. I could sing psalms or anything. A plague of all cowards, I say still. How now, Wolfsack? What mutter you? A king's son. If I do not beat thee out of thy kingdom with a dagger of lath, and drive all the subjects afore thee like a flock of wild geese, I'll never wear hair on my face more, you Prince of Wales. Why, you horse-thorn round man, what's the matter? Are you not a coward? Answer me to that, and points there. Zounds, ye fat paunch, and ye call me coward? I'll stab thee. I call thee coward. I'll see thee damned ere I call thee coward, but I would give £1,000 I could run as fast as thou canst. You are straight enough in the shoulders, you care not who sees your back. Call you the backing of your friends? I played upon such backing. I give me, them all will face me. Give me a cup of sack. I'm a rogue if I drunk today. Oi, villain! Thy lips are scarce wiped since thou drunkest last. All's one for that. A plague of all the cowards, still say I. What's the matter? What's the matter? There be 4 of us. Here have £10,000 this day morning. Where is it, Jack? Where is it? Where is it? Taken from us, it is. 100 upon poor 4 of us. What 100, man? I am a rogue. If I were not at half a sword with a dozen of them 2 hours together, I have scraped my miracle. I have 8 times thrust through the doublet, 4 through the hose, my buckler cut through and through, my sword hacked like a handsaw. Ecce signum. I never dealt better since I was a man. All would not do. A plague of all cowards. Let them speak. If they speak more or less than truth, they are villains and the sons of darkness. Speak, sirs. How was it? Hey, bitch! We 4 set upon some dozen, 16 at least, my lord, and bound them. No, they were not bound. You rogue, they were bound, every man of them, for I am a Jew else and a Hebrew Jew. As we are sharing, some 6 or 7 fresh men set upon us, and unbound the rest, and then some in the other. What fought ye with them all? All, I know not what ye call of, but if I fought not with 50 of them, I am a bunch of radish. If there were not 2 or 3 and 50 upon poor old Jack, then am I 2-legged creature. Pray God, you have not murdered some of them. Nay, that's past praying for. I have peppered 2 of them. 2 I am sure I have paid, 2 rogues in buckram suits. I tell thee what, Hal, if I tell thee a lie, spit in my face, call me hoarse. Thou knowest my old word. Here I lay, and thus I bore my point. 4 rogues in buckram let drive at me. What for? Thou setst but 2 even now. 4, Hal. I told thee 4. Aye, he said 4. These 4 come all affront and mainly thrusted me. I made me no more ado, but took all their 7 points in my target thus. 7? Why, there was but 4 even now. In buckram. Aye, 4 in buckram suits. 7 by these hilts, or I am a villain else. Prithee, let him alone. We shall have more anon. Dost thou hear me, Hal? Aye, and mark thee too, Jack. Do so, for it is worth the listening to these 9 to the buckhand that I told thee of. So, 2 more already, their points being broken. Down fell their hose. Being to give me ground, but I followed me close. Came in foot and hand with a thought 7 of the 11 I paid. Oi, monstrous. 11 buckram men grown out of 2. But as the devil would have it, 3 misbegotten knaves, and Kindle Green came at me and back and let drive at me, for it was so dark, Hal, that thou couldst not see thy hand. These lies are like the father that begets them, gross as a mountain, open, palpable. Why, thou clay-brained guts, thou naughty-pated fool, thou whoreson, obscene, greasy towel sketch. What, art thou mad? Art thou mad? Is not the truth the truth? Why, how couldst thou know these men in Kindle Green, when it was so dark thou couldst not see thy hand? Come, tell us your reason. What sayest thou to this? Come, your reason, Jack, your reason. What upon compulsion? Zounds, and I were at the strappado, or all the racks in the world, I would not tell you in the compulsion. Give you a reason of compulsion. If reasons were as plenty as blackberries, I would give no man a reason upon compulsion. I'll be no longer guilty of this sin, this sanguine coward, this bed presser, this horseback breaker, this huge hill of flesh. Splud, you starveling, you elfskin, you dry-niced tongue, you bull's pizzle, you stockfish. Wait, for breath to utter what is like thee. You tailor yard, you sheath, you bowcase, you vile-staining tuck. Well, breathe a while, and then to it again. And when thou hast tired thyself in base comparisons, hear me speak with this. Mark, Jack. We 2 saw you 4 set on 4, and you bound them, and were masters of the wealth. Mark now how a plain tale shall pull you down there. Then did we 2 set on you 4, and with a word outface you from your prize, and have it. Yeah, and show it you here in the house. And Falstaff, you carried your guts away as nimbly, with as quick dexterity, and roared for mercy, and still ran and roared as ever I heard bull calf. What a slave art thou, to hack thy sword as thou hast done, and then say it was in fight. What trick, what device, what starting hole canst thou now find out to hide thee from this open and apparent shame? Come, let's hear, Jack. What trick hast thou now? By the Lord, I knew ye as well as he that made ye. Why hear you, my masters? Was it for me to kill the heir apparent? Should I turn upon the true prince? Why, thou knowest I am as valiant as Hercules. But beware instinct, the lion will not touch the true prince. Instinct is a great matter. I was a coward on instinct. I shall think the better of myself, and thee dear in my life. I for a valiant lion, and thou for a true prince. But by the Lord, lads, I am glad you have my money. Hostess, clap to the doors. Watch tonight, pray tomorrow. Gallants, lad, boys, hearts of gold, all the titles of good fellowship come to you. What, shall we be merry? Shall we have a play? Extempore? Content! And the argument shall be thy running away. Ah, no more of that, Hal, and thou lovest me. Enter mistress quickly. Oh, Jesus, my lord the prince. How now, my lady the hostess? What sayest thou to me? Marry, my lord, there is a nobleman of the court door would speak with you. He says he comes from your father. Give him as much as will make him a royal man and send him back again to my mother. What manner of man is he? An old man. What doth gravity out of his bed at midnight? Shall I give him his answer? Prithee do, Jack. Faith, and I'll send him packing. Now, sirs, by Our Lady you fought fair, so did you. Peto, so did you. Bardolph, you are lions too. You ran away upon instinct. You will not touch the true prince. No, fie. Faith, I ran when I saw others run. Faith, tell me now in earnest how came Falstaff's sword so hacked? Why, he hacked it with his dagger, and said he would swear truth out of England, but he would make you believe it was done in fight, and persuaded us to do the like. Yeah, and to tickle our noses with spare grass to make them bleed, and then to beslubber our garments with it and swear it with the blood of true men. I did what I did not this 7 year before. I blush to hear his monstrous devices. Oi, villain, thou stolest a cup of sack 18 years ago, and wert taken with the manner, and ever since thou hast blushed extempore. Thou hadst fire and sword on thy side, and yet thou ranest away. What instinct hadst thou for it? My lord, do you see these meteors? Do you behold these exaltations? I do. What think you they portend? Hot livers and cold purses. Choler, my lord, if rightly taken. No, if rightly taken, halter. Ranger Falstaff. Here comes lean Jack. Here comes Barebone. How now, my sweet creature of bombast? How long is it to go? Jack, since thou sawest thine own knee? My own knee. When I was about thy years, Hal, I was not an eagle's talon in the waist. I could have crept into that alderman's thumbering. A plague of sighing and grief. It blows a man up like a bladder. There's villainous new abroad. Here was a Sir John Bracy, from your father. You must to the court in the morning. That same mad fellow of the north, Percy, and he of Wales, that gave a Mammon, the Basnado, made Lucifer cuckold, and swore the devil his true liegeman upon the cross of a Welsh hook. What a plague call you him? Owen Glendower. Owen, the same, and his son-in-law, Mortimer, in old Northumberland, and that sprightly Scot of Scots, Douglas, that runs a horseback up a hill perpendicular. He that rides at high speed, and with his pistol kills a sparrow flying. You have hit it. So did he never spare. So did he never the sparrow. Well, that rascal hath good mettle in him. He will not run. Why, what a rascal art thou to praise him for running? Oh, horseback, ye cuckoo, but afoot he will not budge a foot. Yes, Jack, upon instinct. I grant ye, upon instinct. Well, he is there too, and one more Drake, and 1,000 blue caps more. Worcester stolen away tonight. Thy father's beard is turned white with the news. You may buy land now as cheap as stinking mackerel. Why then, it is like, if there come a hot June and the civil buckling hold, we shall buy maidenheads as they buy hot nails by the hundreds. By the mass, lad, thou sayest true. It is like we shall have good trading that way. But tell me, how art thou not horribly afeard? Thou being heir apparent, could the world pick thee out 3 such enemies again as that fiend Douglas, that spirit Percy, and the devil Glendower? Art thou not horribly afraid? Doth not thy blood thrill it is? Not a whit, I faith. I lack some of the instinct. Well, thou wilt be horribly child tomorrow, when thou comest to the Father. If thou love me, practice and answer. Do thou stand for my Father, and examine me upon the particulars of my life? Shall I? Content. This chair shall be my state, this dagger my scepter, and this cushion my crown. This state is taken for a joint stool, thy golden scepter for a leaden dagger, and thy precious rich crown for a pitiful bald crown. When the fire of grace be not quite out of thee, now shalt thou be moved. Give me a cup of sack to make my eyes look red, that it may be thought I have wept. For I must speak in passion, and I will do it in King Canvas's vein. Well, here's my leg. And here's my speech. Stand aside, nobility. Oh, Jesu, this is excellent sport, I faith. Weep not, sweet queen, for trickling tears are vain. Wait, the Father, how he holds his countenance. For God's sake, Lord, convey me trustful queen. For tears do stop the floodgates of her eyes. Oh, Jesu, he doth it as like one of these harlotry players as ever I see. Peace, good pinpot. Peace, good ticklebrain. Harry, I do not only marvel where thou spendest thy time, but also how thou art accompanied. For thou, the chamomile, the more it is trodden on, the faster it grows. Yet youth, the more it is wasted, the sooner it wears. That thou art my son, I have partly thy mother's word, partly my own opinion, but chiefly a villainous trick of mine eyes, and a foolish hanging of thy nether lip, that doth warrant me. If then thou be son to me, here lies the point. Why, being son to me, art thou so pointed at? Shall the blessed Son of Heaven prove a miker and eat blackberries? A question not to be asked. Shall the son of England prove a thief and take purses? A question to be asked. There is a thing, Harry, which thou hast often heard of, and it is known to many in our land by the name of pitch. The pitch, as an ancient writers do report, doth defile, so doth the company thou keepest. For, Harry, now I do not speak to thee in drink, but in tears, not in pleasure, but in passion, not in words only, but in woes also. And yet there is a virtuous man whom I have often noticed in thy company, but I know not his name. What manner of a man? And like it your majesty? A goodly portly man, I faith, and a corpulent, of a cheerful look, a pleasing eye, and a most noble carriage. And, as I think his age some 50, or by a lady, inclining to 80, now I remember one. His name is Falstaff. If that man should be lewdly given, he deceiveth me. For, Harry, I see virtue in his looks. If then the tree may be known by the fruit, as the fruit by the tree, then peremptorily I speak it. There is virtue in that Falstaff. Him keep with. The rest vanish. And tell me now, thou naughty varlet, tell me, where hast thou been this month? Dost thou speak like a king? Do thou stand for me, and I'll play my father? Depose me? If thou dost it half so bravely, so majestically, both in word and matter, hang me up by the heels for a sucker or a poultry's hair.
God!
Well,
Get the fuck away from me, dude.
And here I stand. Judge my masters. Now, Harry, whence come you? My noble lord, from Eastcheap. The complaints I hear of thee are grievous. Sblood, my lord, they are false. Nay, I'll tickle ye for a young prince, I faith. Swearest thou, ungracious boy? Henceforth ne'er look on me. Thou art violently carried away from grace. There is devil haunts thee in likeness of a fat old man. A ton of man is thy companion.
Not at all.
What dost thou converse with the trunk of humours? That bolting hutch of beastliness, that swollen parcel of dropsies, that huge bombard of sack, that stuffed cloak bag with guts, that roasted Manningtree ox with the pudding of his belly, that reverend vice, that grey iniquity, that father ruffian, that vanity in years? Wherein is it good but to taste sack and drink it? Wherein neat and clean but to carve it, cap it and eat it? Wherein cunning but in craft?
You're
Wherein
bad.
crafty but in
Pick it up.
Wherein villainous but in all things? Wherein worthy but in nothing? I would your grace would take me with you. Whom mean your grace? Thou villainous, abominable misleader of youth, Falstaff, that old white-bearded Satan. My lord, the man I know thou dost, But to say I know more harm in him than in myself, or to say more than I know. That he is old,
it explodes around us?
pity,
Okay, I can feel it. Get
but that
the
he
fuck
is,
out.
saving your reverence, a whoremaster, that I utterly deny. If sack and sugar be a fault, God help the wicked. If to be old when merry be a sin, then many in an old host that I know is damned. If to be fat to be hated, then Pharaoh's lean kine are to be loved. No, my good lord, banish Pito, banish Bardoff, banish Poems, but with sweet Jack Falstaff, kind Jack Falstaff, true Jack Falstaff, valiant Jack Falstaff, and therein more valiant
It's
being
really not
he
cool.
is old Jack Falstaff, banish. Not him, thy hairy company, banish, not him. Thy hairy company, banish plump Jack, and banish all thy world. I do, I will. Re-enter Bardo.
Dude, get the fuck out.
Wait, my lord, the sheriff, with a most monstrous watch, is at the door. Out, you rogue! Play out this play. I have much to say on this behalf of that Falstaff. Oh, Jesu, my lord! Hi. The devil rides upon a little stick. What's the matter? The sheriff and all the watch are at the door. They are come to search the house. Shall I let them in? Dost thou hear how? Never call a true piece of gold counterfeit. Thou art essentially man without seeing.
Yeah, this is not a legitimate game. Let's
Thou
get
art
out.
a natural coward without instinct.
No, it's not. Get out.
I deny your major.
Why are you there,
Deny
first of
the
all?
sheriff, so if not to let him injure. If I
Ouch.
not to card as well.
Ouch.
As another man, a plague on my bringing up. I hope I shall soon be strangled with a halter as another. Go hide thee behind the harassment. The rest walk up above. Now my masters for a true face and good conscience. Both which I have had,
Dude!
whether date,
God damn!
therefore I'll hide me. Call in the sheriff. Enter sheriff and carrier. Logic, get him out of there. Now, Master Sheriff, what is your will with me? Now, Master Sheriff, what is your will with me? First, pardon me, my lord. A hue and cry hath
Yeah, I'm good on that.
What men? Of one of them is well known, my gracious lord, a gross fat man, as fat as butter.
Get off.
The man,
You can get off
I do
of it
assure you,
now.
is not here, for I myself at this time have employed him.
Stupid fucking
And,
nigger.
Sheriff, I will engage my word to thee, that I will, by tomorrow dinner time, send him to answer thee, or any man for anything he shall be charged withal. And so let me entreat you leave the house. I will, my lord. There are two gentlemen, having this robbery lost 300 marks. It may be so. If we have robbed these men, he shall be answerable, and so farewell. Good night, my noble lord. I think it is good morrow, is it not? Indeed, my lord, I think it be 2 o'clock. This oily rascal is known as well as Paul's. Go call him forth. Falstaff, fast asleep behind the arras, and snorting like a horse. Hark, how hard he fetches breath. Search his pockets. What hast thou found? Nothing but papers, my lord.
There we go. Thank you.
Let's see what they be. Read them. Item a capon, sauce, sack 2 gallons, anchovies and sack, after supper, bread. Oi, monstrous, but 1/2 pennyworth of bread to this intolerable deal of sack. What there is else, keep close. We'll read at it more advantage. There let him sleep till day. All to the court in the morning. We must all to the wars, and thy place shall be honorable. I'll procure this fat rogue a charge of foot, and I know his death will be a march of 12 score. The money shall be paid back again with advantage. Be with me betimes in the morning, and so good morrow, Peter. Good morrow, good my lord.